So dear students, last class we were discussing concepts on aerial velocity and all that. We were seeing this gravitational force G m1 m2 by r square, right? So if you draw a graph between force and distance square, now this graph will be a hyperbola. Distance square in this direction, force in this direction. If any question comes on these type of graphs, you have to understand that when there are two masses, when you are bringing them closer and closer, what is happening? You are reducing the distance. The distance is in the denominator. So when you are reducing the distance and it is square, so what will happen? It will shoot up the gravitational force between them, and the gravitational force will be acting on the line joining these two masses. These can be a point masses. Okay, these are point masses. So you can see here, when you are approaching this way, the gravitational force is shooting up, and when you separate them by a very large distance, what is happening? The distance is increasing. Here I am keeping the masses constant, but distances are increasing, the graph will fall down because the force is very less. Okay, so this is one point. Now let us say this is our mother earth and there is an object here. Mother earth mass is me, this fellow's mass is m. Okay, it can be a person or it can be an object. So obviously these two will have a gravitational force. So that gravitational force is given by G into, you have to join the center of the earth to the center of that person or that object, center of mass. Okay, so it will be acting in that direction. So it will be G m E m by r square. So this is the radius of the earth. We are assuming that this person is standing on the ground or is not at a very considerable amount of height from the ground. You know what is the radius of earth? Earth radius is 6400 kilometers approximately. Okay, it is 6371, I think, 6400 kilometer approximately, and this mass of earth is approximately 6 into 10 to the power of 24 kg. Okay, so G is a constant. Okay, what is the value of G? The value of G is 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 units, Newton meter square by kg square. It can be further reduced also. I'm not bothered about the units right now. So this is a constant, this is a constant, and this is a constant. Okay, so if I call these three constants as a new constant now by a small letter g, so g is gme by r square. You plug in all these values, you get approximately 9.8 meter per second square. So this is what we are calling it as acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so note the difference between this g and this capital G. Okay, so that is why when you are writing the mass of an object, you are writing weight of an object, you are writing this object will have some weight acting downwards. What is that weight? Weight is equal to mg. Now basically what is this weight? It is nothing but the gravitational force. Okay, so this is how the background. Now suppose you go to some other planet, instead of earth, some other planet is there, some Jupiter is there. So you have to write the mass of the Jupiter here, you have to write the mass of the radius of the Jupiter. So the G value will change. Similarly, if you go to moon, some other value will be there. The value of moon is approximately G by 6. Okay, it is 1/6 of our G value when you go to moon. See, suppose there is a mass and there are some masses like this. So this is mass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. So the net gravitational force on one, F F1 net is basically F1 off because 2, F1 3, F1 4, F1 5 and so on. What is F12? So there is a force of attraction between the mass 1 and mass 2. So it is attraction. Similarly, between 3 and 1, there is a force of attraction. Same is the case with this. Alright. So you can individually calculate and you can add them. You can do the vector addition. You can do the vector addition. You get the net effect. So this is also a concept. Make a note of that. And here, as I told you yesterday also, there can be one mass here, there can be one mass here, and there can be a mass in the middle. Okay, but even then, this concept is valid. See, whenever we talk about forces, we have to know what are the different type of forces here. So if you talk about basic forces, you have gravitation force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetic force, and strong nuclear force. However, in this chapter, we are dealing with the gravitational forces. Now, gravitational forces are long range forces. You can say that there is a gravitational force between Sun and the Earth, and you know the distance between Sun and the Earth is very high. Weak nuclear forces are short range forces. So usually the distance under which they operate, they are under the nucleus. When we will be studying about modern physics, you will be understanding what is a nucleus, what is a nuclear radius and all that. So it is very less than 1 Fermi meter. 1 Fermi meter means 10 to the power of minus 15 meter. So they kind of operate in such small spaces. Electromagnetic forces, these are long range forces. Okay, but however, electromagnetic forces also, like this gravitational forces, when you bring them closer, the force becomes more stronger. Okay, because it is this F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. That's basically a Coulomb's law. Okay, this what you are seeing, F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. While you will be studying about electrostatics, this constant will change to K, and these will change to Q1, Q2. Q1, Q2 are the charges. So basically, this is an output of Coulomb's law. It's an output of Coulomb's law. Okay. So you can see here, when you are reducing the distance, the force is increasing. But however, they can operate up to a very large distance. Strong nuclear force, so they operate in the region of 1 Fermi meter, little more than weak nuclear forces in terms of range. But if you take the relative strength, if you say that gravitational force is 1 unit, you see that the strong nuclear force is 10 power 38 times more stronger than this. Look at this electromagnetic force, it is 10 power 36 times more stronger than this. If this is 1, then this value is this much. Even you can see the weak nuclear forces are also very high compared with this. So out of all these forces, gravitational forces are actually the weakest forces. Okay, and while studying this gravitation chapter, you should pay very attention to all the concepts. Your concepts in electrostatics will be somewhat similar to this, and they will be running parallel. So if you understand this topic very well, you will be able to understand that topic also quite easily. Now suppose three masses are arranged in the form of a equilateral triangle. All three masses are of mass n. So this is the first mass, this is the second mass, and this is the third mass. Alright, and we will take a numerical otherwise. Alright, and the distance between them is n. It's an equilateral triangle. Alright, so suppose on mass 2, we want to find out what is the net gravitational force. So here on mass 2, there will be a gravitational force because of 1. Alright, and what will be the direction? It will be attraction, so it will be in this direction. So I am writing suffix 2, 1. Gravitational force on 2 because of 1. and here it will be like this, force on 2 because of 3. So what is the value of F21? I am just writing the magnitude part. So it is G M M1 M2 divided by L square. Similarly, F23 is G M1 M2 by L square. Okay, so you have like this. So there is an angle of 60 degree here, and so both forces are same, so I will call it as F. So you have an F force here, you have an F force here, you have to find the resultant of this force. So the resultant Fr will be equal to parallelogram law, F square plus F square plus 2 F1 F2 cos 60. So this becomes F square plus F square plus this is cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this is also another F square, which is root 3 times F. But what is F? F value is root 3 multiplied by G M square by L square. So this is how we find out. Okay. Some simple examples, illustrations I am showing you how to actually calculate about this. Suppose I put some masses on a square. Okay. I put here 2 kg, I put here 3 kg, I put here 1 kg, and I put here 4 kg, and in the center I put 2 kg, and I ask you to calculate what is the net gravitation force on this mass. Okay, we will call suffix 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So you can see here, so this will be experiencing a gravitation force in this direction, gravitation force in this direction, gravitation force in this direction, and gravitation force in this direction. So basically you will end up with 4 values, and you have to find the resultant of that. So let us do that. So let us say I am finding F51. Okay, so F51 will be equal to, actually when you write the formula you have to put a minus here. Minus means mutual attraction, so I am not writing that part. So G into M1 M2, so it is 2 into 2. Now let us say this side is given as 4 centimeters. Okay, the side is given as 4 centimeters. So distance between these 2 points. Now this is 4, that means you have to calculate this distance. This is 4 means this is 2. So this is also 2. So 2, 2. So this will be 2 root 2 centimeters. Okay. So this will be 2 root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. 10 to the power of minus 2 because it should be in meters. So that is about F51. Now F52 will be G into, multiply the masses, 2 into 3 divided by, the distance will be same only. Okay, so it will be 2 root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. Now F53 will be equal to G into 2 into 1 divided by 2 root 2 10 power minus 2 whole square. And F54, it will be G into 2 into 4 divided by 2 root 2 10 power minus 2 whole square. So now we have to calculate the resultant now. Now look here, G divided by this thing is anyway constant. Okay, so F54 is 8 times, let us give a constant K is equal to G divided by 2 2 root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. So you can write this as F51 as how much? This as 4k, this as 6k, this as 2k, and this as 8k. Right? So just put the values over here. So F54, this is 8k. Okay? F52 is 6k. And F51 is 4k. And F53 is 2k. So you have a situation like this where you have 8k force in this direction, 6k force in this direction. So what is the net force now? The net force in this direction is 2k. Then you have 4k in this direction and 2k in this direction. So you will have 2k in this direction. Okay? So you have to find the resultant of these two now. So it has become more simplified now, right? So what will be this angle? See, what will be this angle? So if this angle is 90, so this is 45, so this is 45, so this is 45. Okay? So this angle is 45. So the resultant will be, the net resultant will be Fr is equal to 2k cos 45, and because of this also you get another component multiplied by 2. So it is 4k. Cos 45 is 1 upon root 2, right? Into k. What is k? K is, this is 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 divided by 2 root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 2 whole square. Whatever you solve, that is your answer. Okay? So this is how you are supposed to solve the question. Look at this question. If the distance between the earth and the sun were half of its present value, the number of days in a year would have been. The earth and the sun. Let us say this is our sun and this is our earth. So let us say by some miracle this distance got reduced to half. Then what will happen to the number of days in a year? So as per Kepler's third law, P square is proportional to R cube, right? So we can write T old by T new whole square is equal to, because it is a proportionality only, so it is R old by R new whole cube. Okay? So this implies TO by TN is, now the distance has become R half. So R new is basically RO by 2. Okay? So from here you are getting RO by RN, RO by RN is equal to 2. So this becomes 2 cube and there is a square here. So TO by TN is equal to, this is 8. So square root of 8. Square root of 8 is 2 root 2. Okay? So Tn will be equal to TO divided by 2 root 2. So the here answers are given in terms of days. So we have to solve this now. 365 divided by 2 root 2. We will apply surds. 365 into root 2 divided by 4. Because root 2 into root 2 will be 2, 2 into 2 will be 4. So this is 91.25 into, what is the root 2 value? 1.414. Okay? Since the options are little far off, so it is 91 into 1 will be how much? 91 only. 91 into 4, 90 into 4 approximately 36. So 7, this is 277. Sorry, it's not multiplication, it is addition. Okay, 6 plus 1, 7, 9 plus 3, 12. 127. So 129 is the right answer.